Google Webmaster Tools Structured Data Part 3. Hello and welcome back again. In this video session we're going to mark up a sample product, and I'm going to try to simplify what we've been learning and then mark up a web element, right? So this video session surely is an extension of part 1 and also part 2. So therefore, for you to understand what's going on in this video session, I strongly encourage you to watch both of these videos. So let's get right into it. When I go to schema.org website, what I do is I simply browse around using the search option to see what information I can find according to what I want to mark up. And I simply open the URL. In this example, I want to mark up a product. So the next part then, surely I read about it 5-10 minutes trying to see, okay, what can I use here? What is the item type all about? Also, I scroll down to see, okay, can I go, dive a little bit deeper to see if there is any more specific types, okay? Now, because we know when we do that, okay, let's say I've got a very specific individual product, I go check that out to see what properties does that have. As we can see, it has a serial number. So therefore, if my product on my landing page had a serial number, then I'd scope this instead. Because when I do, I still have access to all the properties coming from product. And that is very important to understand, as we know. Okay? So let's close this up. Let's simplify everything. Now, another great way for you to master structured data is that schema.org website will provide you with examples. As we can see, there is an example here without a markup. Okay, just a simple something on the landing page that you may have. Then it's going to give you examples using microdata, RDFA, or JSON LD. Okay, so we know we're just sticking with this because all these other ones we're doing the same thing using a different manner. So we want to simplify everything and we want to use this. So as we can see, that's what they've marked up and given us an example. So we're going to use this example to speed things up so this video doesn't go for an hour. Okay? One of the most important things that we should understand is when we scope things, we have access to all the properties that we see on this URL, including things coming from different item types. Okay? So that is important to understand. Also, as we can see, you can nest different item types within different item types. As we can see, there is nesting happening here. Okay? Now that is very important as well to understand, because that's when we really mark up things properly, as we can see. So now let's go and let's just copy this. Actually, let's not copy it. Let's dive right into it. Now let's say this is our sample product, right? Let's open the source code up and let's have a look what's going on. That's wrapped within the P element. It can be section, div, it makes no difference. And let's scope it. We say itemscope, item type. Now when we do this, we know what we're doing. Okay? We're just scoping. And we give that URL, because then it is scoped. Okay? And that's wrapped within the quotes. So right now, as far as search engines are concerned, this P element is a type of product because I've scoped it as such. Now let's go have a look at a couple of examples here. I've got the offer scope here, and I've also got the properties coming from product. I'm going to explain what's going on there, because as we can see, we've nested things using a different scope all while using the item prop coming from the product. Okay, so let's have a look at what's going on there. Let's copy that, and let's say, you know what, let's do this too. Let's wrap that up within a span. Now, what's going on with the span? Span is your friend when you want to mark up your landing pages, right? Span is an HTML element, obviously, okay, and as we can see, this is just a simple text. So how can we mark that up? Well, we need to wrap it in some sort of an element, right? And then span element works the best for that. That's why we use span element. So we'll paste that and we'll mark that up, and let's go through it and close the span. So right now, what we've done, we've said this is an offer. Okay? Why we've done that is because it's given us that example here. And as we can see, we've got the price. But I just want to touch on this here because I think this is very important to understand what we've done here. As we can see, not only we scoped this element, okay, we've also used itemprop. Now, where does this come from? Well, this comes from here. It comes from this scope. Okay. Now, why are we then using this scope here? Let's copy that and let's have a look why we're doing that. As we can see, when we nest other item types, what happens is that we actually extend our ability to include different properties. As we can see, I've got a price coming from here. You see? So therefore, right now, because I've scoped it as such, okay, I nested that scope within this one here. Now I can tap into the properties from here. All of the properties, including this one, or all the others, right? That is important to understand. So how do we do that? We span it. Okay, we say item prop equals quote price. So now I'm saying this is the price, and I just close that span. As we can see, now this is more intelligent to extend it like this, as you can reason, right? Because the product here, the scope product, item type product, okay, didn't have price for me. Price, okay, as we can see, there is no price property in the product. For me to use the price property, I need to extend and nest a different scope. So then I can give that information, okay? So that's what we're doing here. But understand the fact that when we done that, the whole thing is still related to the product. So as you're seeing, when we use it along these lines, we're saying, you know what? This is the price of this product, instead of just being a price. Okay? So that is very important to understand. Also, we've got something here called in stock. As we can see in the example, they've also used in stock as well. But they've used the canonical link reference here. Okay? And let's simplify things, meaning if you want to reference things, you can use it as such as well. Okay? Let's go to the home page, because I think it is smart that I actually touch base with what's going on with that link element happening, right? So let's just say link. Let's find other ones. Okay, you see, you can reference an external URL by using this schema along these lines. And when you do reference it, okay, be very thoughtful for Google rankings. Okay, try not to use this a lot on your website just because you can. There must be a reason for you to use it, and the reason can be whatever element that you're marking up. It may be appropriate for you to describe the element without using any links so that the visitors don't see that link. Okay, it could be the case, but then you want search engines to understand what that element is all about. You can then give that link element to tell search engines, you know what, search engines, this element that I am talking about on my landing pages is related to this URL here, as we can see. Okay, now that you can do. It's like referencing to search engines and not the people who visit you. Meaning, if I put this, let's say, as an example, just to give you an example, and let's save that, and as we can see, I can't see that, but search engines can. So therefore, there are times you may use it, okay, and there are times that you should avoid using it. You can read more about it, no problems. I'm not going to go into depth and explain to you every single reason that you may use it, okay? Just realize that you can use canonical references when you mark up your web page elements, right? Okay, as we can see, that's, you can read more about it. Canonical references. Enumerations, what they mean is you only have certain amount of values. Okay, they could be perhaps 4 values. They are called the enumerations. Okay, don't confuse yourself because they're very easy, which we're gonna touch base in the second. Okay, so let's go back to our product and let's say, okay, I've got the price, and I can actually say this, as in tell search engines that, you know what I'm describing by these 2 keywords is I'm describing the availability of this product. Okay, now you can surely read more about it to see what's going on. Okay, item availability, let's trace it back to read a little bit more about it and then see what I can use here. As we can see, I can use it in stock, online only, and so on. Knowing whenever I scope it, I can use all the properties. Okay, so let's keep things short and let's just use it as such to tell search engines, you know what, I'm talking about products availability here, and I do that as such. Okay, put that link there, and afterwards I'm talking about in stock, about the products availability. Okay, now this comes from offer. Yeah, that is important to follow through now, right? Let's go and have a look at that availability. Let's copy that and let's see where that is coming from, as in it's coming from here. Okay, because although this offer, property offer, the whole thing here is about the product, okay, what I've put within it is coming from here. So as you can see, I'm extending, because when I do, that's when I really tap into the full power of schema.org vocabulary, so that search engines understand what in the world I am talking about on my landing pages, right? Now, I also have something called the aggregate rating here, as we can see, and let's use that. Let's copy the entire thing. Okay, and we know itemprop here is aggregate rating, comes from here. Okay, so let's copy the entire thing. So let's see how we can give rating to that product, because we have a rating of sort. Okay, because I included that so that you understand how you can extend and nest things within certain item types. Okay, item types. Okay, so now we know this thing here is about rating. Okay, so then let's mark it up, and all I do is I span it and I just paste that code so I don't have to write it. Okay, let's go underneath, let's simplify things, let's keep it as such. Okay, now from here, okay, I need to have a space. Okay, now let me close that span tag. So now from here to here, it's about aggregate rating of a product, and what I'm gonna do is use properties from this item type. Okay, and for me to do that, all I do is I open this up in a new tab to learn what I can do with that aggregate rating. As we can see, I can use different properties. Okay, if I scope it, I can use all the properties here. But let's simplify things. Let's say, okay, you know what, the value of that rating value in this example, it's that. Ours is a little bit different. We're talking about that value there, right? So let's paste that code in there and let's just change it to our rating, right? So now what we've done is we've said, okay, that is the rating. It's coming from here, but it is still talking about that product. So now we also have something called the review count. Now you can read surely more about it. Okay, but let's say that here is the review count, and let's just paste that. I need to span that, and let me close that up. So now I've just given more information to search engines by saying that product actually has a rating. It's called aggregate rating. Okay, I can scope it, nest it, and then this is how I do it. Now what else can I do? Because I actually haven't started marking up that product properly yet. So let's just leave everything as it is, and let's go back and now start using the properties from here. Now all I do is, surely I read a little bit about it, 5-10 minutes, and I know that I can use properties from the thing because it's, you know, inheritance rules is applying. So I can say, you know what, that name, you know, you'll actually use this name a lot. So you know what, the product that I'm describing has a name, and the name is, let's say the name is this here, right? Well, then all I do is I say, okay, where is that name? That's the name, and let me span that. Item prop of that product, that is the name of it. Okay, now what else can I do? Well, that 8-inch, for example, okay, let's say that's the height of that item. Well, let me say 8-inch, that's the height. Span it, item prop equals height. Okay, that keyword, both keywords is talking about the height of this product. What else can I do? Manufacturer, I can say, you know what, let me copy that property. Let's have a look so I don't have to keep typing and so on. Okay, you know what, I've mentioned Samsung again, so let me say, you know what, that's item property of that item, and the manufacturer is Samsung. Okay, so as you can see, now look at what we're doing here. Now we're really marking up, you know, we're marking up the product for what it's worth, using all that we can on this page. Okay, some of them may apply to in your case, some of them may not. Okay, if they do, then you use it. If not, then you don't. Now description surely is an important, because we want to describe to search engines. You know what, search engines, when you come to this markup here, I'm giving you more hints by telling you all that I can about what's within this paragraph element. Now let's say that is the description. Okay, so then I just spend that. I say itemprop equals description. And that is the description. Okay, what else can I do? So, as you can see, this is what you do. This is how you mark everything up. Okay, so I know I say this or that, but now what we're seeing from the front end to the visitor is all the same thing. Okay, but search engines understand things differently now. Also, we've got an image. Okay, that you will use a lot as well. As you can see, it's expecting a URL, but we can actually use that as well. As in that property, we can put on an image equals, that's the name. Okay, sorry, image. So what we've done, not only we used alt attributes, title attributes, and perhaps use the keywords in the image, but we've also said to the search engines, you know what, this image is about this product. And how we do that, we just use that property. Okay, also there is one more element which is very important and you have access to, and that is the meta. Okay, meta element. Now before we use it, let's have a look at what that means. Now I am at schema.org looking at the meta tag element where you can use it. Okay, and it's giving you an example, and Google Webmaster Sports section also suggests to you that you can actually use it, as we can see. Now, why are we using it? Okay, it may be appropriate depending on your products and what you want to be visible to your visitors compared to search engines, right? So therefore, you can use the meta tag within your element itself. You can read more about it. I'm not going to go into depth. Okay, it has key value pairs, as we can see, item property, you can say, and content and whatever. You can read more about it and say, you know what, I can use the meta. Okay, let's have a look at this offer here. Let's say offer. The offer then in this example, as we can see, it has price currency, right? Let's have a look. As we can see, okay, it has this coming from the offer item type, right? But what if I do this? Where are we? Okay, price currency, yes, I can do that. Now, as you can see, this $sign can mean many different things to search engines, but the scope offer has that price currency, right? And if I then use the meta tag, okay, the name is price currency and the content is Australian dollars, for example. Now let's have a look at what's going on here. The name is, no, that's itemprop. Silly. Okay, what happened when we've done this? Okay, be very thoughtful, because this is like hidden information, right? That means it's only visible to search engines. You know, we know that SEO spammers will actually abuse this, but you don't do that, right? You can use this. Try not to a lot, but it may be times when you want to give, you know, meaningful extra information using this element. Okay, you can do that. As we've seen, what we're saying is, you know what, that item price there is about Australian dollars, or I can say USD. Now, where did I pull this one from? That came from price currency. As we can see, it's taken this format, which you can read more about it. Okay, so you can use the meta element for many different things. Try not to a lot, and only use it when you know it's appropriate to do so, to give that little bit more extra insight sometimes. Okay, in this example it's more than appropriate, but just realize that you can use that, and when you do, only search engines understand that and not the visitors. Okay, so now let's say we've got this P element, and let's copy that, and let's just double check to see if all is working. Structured data testing tool in Google Webmaster Tools account. All we do is we paste that HTML to see if all is okay. As we can see, okay, as we can see now, search engines understood what that product is all about, as in what was within that P element, and Google's rich snippets will show information accordingly. It's not guaranteed, but as Google suggests, that it will when appropriate, and it is in your best interest as a website owner and webmaster to understand how to truly mark up your landing pages. And remember, use the information that you've been learning, because then not only you can help Google understand your landing pages, you can also tap into all the properties that you have at your disposal. I thank you very much for learning with me. If you found this video tutorial of use to you, give me a like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe, because I will be adding more useful tutorials for website owners like me and you. Thank you for learning with me. I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you.